mean, you just need to turn on the TV and listen to the news. A chemical respirator. The charcoal filters would go onto here. A hazmat suit that covers your entire body. Potassium iodine pills. Your thyroid gland was what will be affected by radiation. I have about over a year's worth of stores and food in my home. On my last check, it was 30,000 seeds for planting. You are preparing to deal with something that is unnatural to your daily occurrences. This will be a day when you look outside and all hell is breaking loose.
The Applejack alert. Enemy bombers, in theory, are approaching the world's greatest city. Hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers scurry for shelter against the attack. Auto traffic is halted. 8 million people vanished from view.
So in 1945, the United States dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In 1949, the Soviet Union dropped their bomb. The United States felt that it needed to protect its citizens.
It's a bomb. Duck and cover. Duck and cover. Duck and cover.
People were truly frightened.
You see signs, you do see the nuclear sign. It's of no use, you know. Does it sounds good? Yeah. It sounds like a good story to spin. Doesn't mean it'll work. My goal is to build a strong, fully functional group of people in the event that there is any form of disaster. I work in fashion in women's evening wear, so it's a little bit off the path of survival.
That's 280, this is 269. You wouldn't want to eat it all the time, but if to keep you alive, it will do it.
One of the points that dissuades people from doing prepping is the cost involved in the equipment. I would say I've spent over $25,000. Even though it's not an actual nuclear explosion, it could be a dirty bomb, which just spreads contaminants in the air. Might not be as lethal, but it'll take down a couple thousand people.
A dirty bomb will have more of an impact psychologically on a population than physically, because a dirty bomb consists of a relatively small amount of radioactive material that's coupled with a conventional explosive. If there are any fatalities, they would occur because of the blast, not because of the radiation.
So 9/11 started as a great morning. It was bright, it was sunny, and we're standing there watching the smoke bellowing out, and we just saw the second plane go right in. And if you want to know what real fear is, to see that in real, it paralyzes you in place.
Oh my goodness.
Every day in the news, it's ISIS, it's Al-Qaeda, and they're not stopping. Terrorist groups are trying to acquire nuclear materials. Because this is New York. There's real emergency services here, and yet they were powerless. It doesn't swing and bother you. Okay? You have to push down hard, actually. There you go.
Fear is really a very important mechanism for survival.
And actually learn to make fire.
And really our brain is wired nicely in order to address fear. I believe 9/11 has to do something with it, that people in kind of modern times don't feel secure and protected, so they hold kind of a very pessimistic belief about the safety of the world, the security of the world. They don't necessarily trust that big organizations like cities and nations will defend them or protect them in times of crisis.
The rule of threes.
Everything is followed by three things. Like you could go 3 minutes without oxygen. You could go 3 days without water. And you could go 3 weeks without food.
What we're heading into now is more precarious.
It's scarier.
There's more unrest. It's scarier. So
it's harmful.
If things happen and I'm not around, she definitely would have to fend for herself.
When I saw that on TV, like on the news, I asked him, what if I was here in New York? And he said, well, I'll show you how we could prepare for it. He started doing this in 2014. He showed me last year because...
I started doing this a lot before that. I started telling you about it then.
It's good to be prepared. It doesn't mean you have to have all your belongings and a second life all packed away and ready to, partake in. The possibility of a dirty bomb exploding is still a possibility. And government agencies at all levels, including the Department of Homeland Security, in this state, the local police department, NYPD, is prepared for evacuation, is prepared with communication systems, is prepared. Recently, several thousand radiation detectors have been belt mounted and distributed to police in the New York area, several thousand. And those have been coupled with GPS systems so that if a detector detects radiation, that information is coupled with a GPS locator, and all that information is funneled to a central command.
I don't think they've done anything to make anybody aware. They always do things when something has happened already. They never get out in front of a problem. I think some media outlets have portrayed the prepping idea as a bunch of crazies, people digging holes and trying to find shelters in bunkers.
700 cans.
241 pounds of cucumbers. We have weapons for every individual in the house.
This is the lifestyle that we live.
Let's go. We're bugging out.
Seems to be excessive to me. But that's, that's me. There is a range between feeling completely secured and the other extreme of being constantly on the guard for high-end catastrophe. On this range, each of us can find ourselves.
I'm going to be doing a class today on shelter building, which is conventional stuff atop, and then I'm going to use some rough stuff, branches that we find. So I even moved to this neighborhood so it would give me the option of being closer north, because that's where we're heading should something happen. If a nuclear event happens for New York City, it would be to get north because the winds generally blow south.
Okay.
Just watch your footing. We as a unit, just picture everybody with the same mindset in this group. We already have stuff set up here in secret that we can tend to whatever your need might be. Even if it's just me and my family, even if I could extend that by half a day, it would be worth it.